Oh, okay, sawa. So, like we had discussed some other time, the system is an ERP system. No, now, yes. Okay, so currently, I saw some of the questions you had written, and I wanted just to address that before we move forward. But I'm not going just to do a presentation. I just wanted to hear your questions as I go through some of the specific things. Yes. Yes. Oh, that is fine. That is fine. Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. Oh, okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Aya, sawa. So unaona tunaweza, yeah, because I wanted just to take you through a slideshow so that you can have a base of what the entire system is all about, and then from there we can pick it out from there. Yes. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay. Ni kitambo sana, yenyewe ni kitambo. Eh, ni kitambo sana. From the retail conference, ilikuwa ni ile retail conference ya Mr. Titus. Yeah, that is where we met, Okay, so how many branches do you have now in that area? Okay, so now we can just begin. We can begin because I can see time is also it's moving very fast. So we can begin. I think I'll take you through a small slideshow. Then from there, I'll just take you through a flow of modules, if time will allow, which will be relative to the questions that you had written. So the name of the company is Asprime Software Limited. It's a Kenyan company. We've been here for the last we can say 20 years. That is, but in Nairobi is now 10 years since the offices were opened here. So the system is fully designed in Kenya. The environment of it's fully designed even to accommodate the business environment within Kenya. So the name of the system, it's actually Positive ERP. Okay, and Positive ERP is designed in modular form. So one of the module is accounting. Now, the accounting is the heartbeat of the entire system. That if you're operating on a centralized mode, that is when now you can be able to use the accounting to be able to access the remote locations of your branches. So the accounting module works hand in hand with what we call the enterprise module, which acts like a bridge between the headquarter and the branch. Okay, so that is the accounting module, and then of course we have the HR system that also goes hand in hand with the entire ERP system, but the HR system also at times it can work independently, okay, but you can plug it inside the entire system, and you are able actually to move forward. So the HR does supports biometrics, time and attendance, and it also supports payroll processing. So in terms of leave charts and all that, so anything that you can think of in terms of HR, it is actually accommodated there. And then we have also the Smart Manager, which also it's one of the modules that does actually biometric registrations. And also the Smart Man can be used as a functionality of loyalty program. So the same also it can work just hand in hand with that. And then, of course, we have what we call the back office, which is an inventory management system within the branch. And the back office, normally, it works hand in hand with the front office. So front office or the point of sale. So they work hand in hand with the back office. Okay. And then we also have a module called the Storex, which normally works very well, and especially for wholesalers like you. So we have that StoreX. Normally, it helps actually you to be able to monitor traffic or to control traffic over the counter, and that is by putting a trigger level at the point of sale. So in other words, if a customer buys, above a trigger level, then the POS will prompt the customer to go pick the products from the store where those products are. But if it is just below the trigger level, then they can as well just collect them over the counter. So that is how the StoreX works, and it is majorly for wholesalers and distributors per se. So these are the main modules that run the entire ERP. Even though there are some modules around that I've not indicated them there, but they will be there in terms of Android applications and archivage and all that. So those ones will be actually added in later. Okay, so the issue is that when you are beginning, it is not necessarily you use the entire modules, yeah? You can begin from anywhere. You may have one branch and you just want maybe to see your stock movement and your stock flow, yeah? You can actually begin either with a back office and a front office, or even maybe if you want to plug in, maybe let's say you want to plug in the loyalty system within one branch, okay? You can also be able to do that. By using the smart manager, the back office and the front office, you are able to run your loyalty system just right in one branch. And likewise also for your wholesale, likewise also you can say maybe you want to begin with a back office and a front office, and then at the same time also be able to do what we call, maybe if you want to plug in the StoreX, you can also be able to plug in the StoreX. Okay. So these are modules that you can begin from anywhere, and then you can begin from whatever level of the business that you have. Okay, you can begin from whatever level of the business that you have. So it is not that necessarily that you have to use all the entire modules. These are modules that you can use in whatever level you're in. Now, if you're doing a distribution, what happens is that you can either use just accounting alone for your distribution customers, which is at times you may want some Android applications for your sales representatives in the field. So that one also we are able to plug in. Or even if maybe you may require just an human resource, that one also we are able to plug into your system. So whichever way or whichever modules that you may require, those ones you are able to do that. Now, just your question was that if the system is user friendly and how maybe your employees can be able actually to work on it or maybe understand it effectively. The system is actually designed in a way that you are able to interact with it, and majorly it is designed to monitor inventory. Okay, so it monitors inventory, because if you're out of inventory, then it means you're out of business. So the main basic thing that it is designed is to secure and monitor inventory, and of course it will actually monitor the inventory and also focus to where the inventory is coming from. Okay, so at times when you are doing orders, it will prompt you to do LPOs, and then of course after the supplier supplied you goods, within receiving those goods you'll be prompted to do what we call a GRN, and then of course at the same time also, if you realize there are some of the things that you may not require, then what happens, you can do a credit note, that is returning those stock back to the supplier. So you find with those activities at the background of the system, you find your entire general ledger will be updated automatically. So you find your expenses, your purchases, your assets, your VAT will be updated automatically. So if you're doing a distribution customer, likewise also the same, you will do a sales invoice, then you do a credit note, the customer might do a credit note back to you. Then what happens, your GL also will still be updated automatically. So at the same time also you find that if you are operating on a centralized mode, and there involves it involves some stock movement back and forth, what happens is that those stocks, when you're pushing them to a specific unit or a branch, the system will actually generate a document called the IBI, which is a document that just simply shows it's a movement of stock from point A to point B. Or even the branches also can be able to return stock back to the warehouse via what we call the credit note. So you find in whatever level of operations, you are able to track and monitor how the inventory is being actually taken care of. And then lastly, the only exit where your inventory is supposed to live, it should be either point of sale or a CAP customer, or it can either be a distribution customer. So that is the only exit point where the system is expecting this inventory to leave your premise. It is either through a distribution customer or through a point of sale, that is in your supermarket or in a wholesale, and also through those what we call the CAP customers. Then lastly, of course, the branches will do a Z report. That is what I know you also do. And then once they've done a Z report, what happens that the entire general ledger will be updated automatically. So in terms of also gift vouchers and loyalties, if they are there, they are also being updated automatically. So at the end of the day, you end up getting a very nice report, okay? And a nice GL, an update of a GL that will give you a good scenario of what exactly has transpired throughout the day, okay? Now you may have one branch like now you are. Tomorrow you may have more than one branch. Could be 100, you never know. God blesses people. So likewise also you find the system is scalable enough that you are able to track stocks to whichever point that they are being actually transferred. So stocks can be transferred whichever way, and at times when you do that manually, it becomes very hectic. So, but the system can really handle that for you very well, and you are able actually to monitor that very well. And then, of course, you'll have a very nice, general ledger that will be updated automatically. So, likewise, also you get very nice and clean reports for that. Okay. Now, for the infrastructure, this is what we normally advise, that if you are going for a centralized mode, then you will have a centralized server, and then that server will run these modules here, as you're seeing. That is the accounting, the enterprise, the HR, and Smartman. So that is a centralized server that will run those modules. But you have a back office also. If you have a branch, then you'll have to have a back office server. And then, of course, that back office server will be connected via your POSs via local area network. That is just a local network. And then the server, the branch, and the HQ server can be actually linked together via stable link. Okay? So if you have branch 2, okay, if you have branch 2 or warehouse 1, you can also be able to link that via link. Then they can be able to be linked back to your HQ server. And then, of course, the point of sale supports CFT. That is, if somebody swipes a credit card right at the point of sale, then what happens is that the POS communicates directly to the bank servers, and then the bank servers will also chip in, will communicate directly. And that is actually real time, of course. And then we have also Safaricom M-Pesa and Airtel Money. That one also it's well actually supported. Okay, that one is also well supported. Okay, the POS supports M-Pesa and Airtel Money. So, and I remember that is what you were asking me, if our POSs do support M-Pesa. So that one is actually supported. And then also, we have what we call a Kubera Analytics. That is a report mostly for directors, because majorly most directors will not have time to go through, all the nitty-gritties and all that, but they will need something that will help them just to make an instant decision, a snap decision. And the Kubera Analytics does very well for that. So because it's something that they can just see and be able to make an instant decision. And then also we have what we call Android applications that normally for distributors, those who have their sales representatives who are in the field and they're doing things, they're raising LPOs, they're raising invoices maybe, and you really want to know what they're doing and where exactly they are. So via that app, you are able to know what they're doing, number of LPOs that they've raised, number of invoices. If there be any sales, you'll be able to know. And if they are on GPS, you'll be able to have a geographical location as to where they are. And in fact, every data that they do in the field, it's able to be synchronized back even to the server. And then from there, you are able to behold what exactly your sales rep are actually doing. Then lastly, we have also an e-commerce platform. The e-commerce platform, which is actually embedded, can be plugged into your system, and then it picks all your physical stock and then pushes it online. So this is a very unique e-commerce platform that works very well to mostly this client. So you find that your physical stock is actually pushed online. so that everybody in the world is able to see the number of stock that you have. And if there be a customer in the world that will want to, do any shopping to, their family members or maybe friends in a certain location where you are, they will be able to locate your shop and do a shopping there. And mostly it happens, especially during Christmas or New Year's, and people at times they may not actually be able to travel a lot because of transport constraint. So what happens is that they will only prefer to go online and do shopping for their families remotely. So that one has been really working very well to most of the clients that we've actually given them this service. So this is the infrastructure, my friend. The infrastructure on how we will recommend that you be actually organized like that, so that the ERP can fully really functions very well in your business. So that is it. Okay. Now for your case with 3 branches, this is how you'll be able to be organized. Okay. Yeah. So now for the architecture of an e-commerce platform, this is just a simple architecture of how the e-commerce platform works. You'll find a customer will go through his device. It could either be a laptop or maybe a phone. Then they will select a product online and then pay for it. It can also support M-Pesa payments, Airtel Money, or even they can pay via bank debit card. It does support that. Then after that, the customer can either walk into your warehouse or your supermarket and collect the products there, or either these products can be delivered to them. So this is just one of the architectures on how it does operate. You can look at it. It's very simple, but it's very effective to most of the clients that have been using it. So that is how the e-commerce platform architecture does. So this is the anatomy of the entire point of sale. So this is exactly what the point of sale supports. But you'll not have to have everything for you to be able to operate. Yeah, so you'll not need to have everything for you to be able to operate. But the most essential ones are, of course, the workstation, the scanners, of course, the cash drawers and the printers. Definitely, those are the most essential ones that you need to have, and especially for your pin pads. That is, if you have a lot of customers who are using maybe debit cards or credit cards in your shop, so you can also embed or integrate a pin pad there. So those ones, they are all supported by the system, so you don't have to worry. And then, of course, we have what we call the positive archivage. This one is a touch screen mechanism functionality. It can either be a standalone point of sale on its own, but mostly it is integrated with a weighing scale. So especially for those who normally deal with groceries like zucchini, vegetables, they can simply use that. It is very effective for them. And likewise, also when you go to most of the supermarkets around, you'll find they're using it, especially in areas like grocery areas, dailies, and other areas like other areas that deserve a weighing scale. So they will definitely use that, and what it does, they will select an item that they require just on the screen, and then they will pick it and weigh it, and then after weighing it, what happens is that the sticker will be printed, and that sticker will be plugged into that product, and then from there they are able to go and pay from the point of sale. So this is one of the most robust software that we do have, and it cuts across every industry, and it's very, very, very effective. Yeah, it's very effective. And then, of course, that is the anatomy of the entire human resource. So the human resource, it entails both recruitment, time and attendance, from staff loans, payroll processing, leaves, and all the way to termination. So anything that you can think of in terms of human resource, it is actually embedded there. So this is one of the most also robust system or software that we do have that can actually be able to really help you in your operations, especially in monitoring the effectiveness and performance of your staff. Okay, so that is what you need to get, my friend. Okay, so that is a small slideshow that I wanted you to go through so that we can be able to discuss on this matter after some time. So I don't know what you think, if you have time. I don't know if you really have time we can actually discuss on a few things here. Yes, friend. Uh-huh. Come on a little bit because you are cracking. I can't hear you well. Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Okay, okay, yeah, not a problem. Okay, so I'll just show you some snippets of it, and then we will organize for a serious deep. Now, this is how the accounting will look like. So this is how the accounting will look like. So when you just give your or assign your team some passwords, and then they will log in, and this is how it will look like. But initially, you can see there are all these submodules here. When you click the purchase, there are submodules, and then if you click the sales, there are submodules, and then when you click the inventory, there are submodules. We have also the assets here, and then we have the fleet. You also have the manufacturing, and then of course banking and charts of accounts. So these are the charts of accounts that we call them nominals. Okay, so that is it. Now, first of all, you'll want to organize the responsibilities or the functions of each and every department, because you will not want all of your guys to just open the software and each one of them is actually prelude to everything that they can see. You will not want those who are dealing with procurement actually be previewed to the financial reports and all that. And this is where you are going to filter it, of course, by issuing rights, different rights that are going to be issued to different people. So, for example, if it is an accounting, this is the accounting. You can see if you are either issuing rights or you are taking away rights, it's either by putting a tick or removing a tick. Now, for example, here, if you see, if I remove this tick here in purchasing, yeah, and then I do an update here, okay, so you'll realize that the purchasing module will disappear. Okay, the purchasing module will disappear. Let me just see here. Maybe I've selected a wrong name. Let me just check the users here. Yeah, I think I selected the wrong name. Let me just restore that. Let me just restore this one first here. Okay, so if I select my name here, okay, you can see that name. If you select, because you have to select a name first, and then you can decide which right. Let me just remove that right there, and then I say update. So once I update like that, what happens is that you will find the purchasing module will disappear from here. So you can see, you no longer see the purchasing module. See, it is only beginning with sales. Okay, but now I can also return this right for myself. Okay, now the person that is supposed to be doing this is somebody that you really trust very well. Is the person that you can give him this responsibility of actually issuing rights. So let me return my purchasing rights. Of course, now I have all the rights. Let me also, I realize there's something here I don't have rights because there's 100 and what. Let me just select all the rights here. Okay, now I have all the rights. There is also here, there are rights that I may not have. So let me just add myself rights. Me at the HR, I think at the HR I'm okay. The smart man, I think at the smart man I still don't have one of the rights here. Okay, so if I have all those rights, then I am actually good to go. So you can see at the HR I have all the rights. So now you can see my purchasing module is back. So this is the purchasing module, it's back. Then this is how you can do orders. You just simply say here my orders. Okay, and then you say new. You will get this dashboard. You select the name of the of the supplier that you want to order from. So that is the supplier. You can say maybe the order validity, it's up to how many days. And then if it is self-transportation, you can put a tick there. But if it is a supplier who is delivering, you don't have to put the ticks there. And then the comments, you can indicate maybe something like as per the terms, okay? And then you can start now ordering goods here. So let me say if I'm ordering this, okay? And then I will say maybe, let me just order 10 cases of that. Then we can see when you are doing an ordering, on your right here, my right here, there is actually a supplier price list. So if I put this item, you put an item code, it will show you the supplier price list here, like how the supplier has been actually charging you this item. So it will indicate here, and then that is what you just say okay, and then you can order the next item. You can say maybe you need, so if you need that, you can order that. And then you can say also I need 10 cartons, okay? And then of course that you can see even here, the supplier price list, it is showing you how much this supplier normally charges, okay? And then of course I will say by that order, I will say done. And of course it will print automatically. So since I'm not printing, I will not print. So there it is. So if you check the order here, you can be able to view the order. So this is how the order will look like. Okay, so this is how it will look like. So this is how the order will look like, okay? So you can see we ordered 10 cartons for that, and then 10 cases for this. So you can see this is how the order will look like. So if you go down, you can see there is what we call order prepared by. So it picks automatically the name of the person that prepared the order. In other words, it's just picks from the password that was used to actually log into the system. And then of course you have the order number here, okay? So for this case, it will be the company name. This is your company name. And then on the right side here, you'll have all these addresses for your company. So you will have that. And then of course that is what it is. So my friend, so that is how you raise an order. So once you've raised an order, okay, you can simply receive an order from here. So because if this is the order that you want to receive, you can simply just click this receive here button, okay? And then of course it will ask you the supplier invoice. Then you will indicate the invoice here. And then if you want to write anything about the invoice, there is a memo here. You can write anything appended to that invoice. And then of course you can start actually receiving. So let's say he's sent you the order was 10 cases, and how much as per the invoice, let's assume it's 10 cases. So of course you can check that. This is the X factory. Now the X factory price is the price without the VAT. That one which the supplier has charged you without the VAT. And it's normally indicated in your invoice. So the supplier invoice, you can indicate that X factory here. And then of course, then from there you can say okay. And then we go to another one. This is scheme blue band. Say it is 10. Let's say we've received 10. And then we say okay. So that is it. And then of course you'll have to save, okay? Then you save it there. So of course the GRN will print, and since I'm not printing, I'll remove the ticks. And then I'll say, so you can see here it says order does not qualify reincarnation. This means that there are no actually pending quantities that the supplier did not supply. So that one, and then after that, you can now check this GRN here. You can see this is now the GRN we've just raised. You can view, and these are the items that have been received now into the system. So this is how it will look like, okay? So you can see this is the GRN number 51. Now GRN stands for goods received not, yeah? I can hear somebody saying, what is GRN? So it is just goods received not. This is now the goods received not, number 51. So it is tagged to this LPO number, which is, this is LPO number 65 that we had just raised. So each GRN is actually tagged to a certain LPO number, so LPO. So you don't just receive goods anyhow. You have to do an LPO in the system and then also do a GRN in the system. So that is how it does. And then of course you'll have, you see it picks here the GRN prepared by who. So it picks even the name of the person that prepared this GRN. Okay, so this is how the GRN will look like. Okay, this is how the GRN will look like. Okay, so that is how the GRN will look like. Okay, so once you've done that, you can be able also to check the stock just to verify if the GRN really, if the stock is really in. You can verify that by this just product. You can just check one of the products here. Then you can be able to see this is how it will look like. So you can see this is the product we've just received. And this is the quantity, 10 cartons of this product Blue Band. And this is what we've received. You can see here quantity in 10. And now there are other stock source. So the total stock is 759.21. So this is what it is. You can also be able to print this stock card controller. You can also be able to print it. Okay. You can also print it and it will look like that. So it can also give you the stock value of this item. You can either check them via the value of stock. You can also be able to check. And if the item is serialized, you can also be able to check their serial numbers here. So every item is actually well monitored and well done. So if you want to do any transfer to another warehouse, this is where you can be able to do a transfer. But this one now, let's discuss it some other time. Okay. So that is it, how you can raise LPOs and how you can check your stock. So that is it. And most of the times, before even you order or you raise an LP of anything else, it is always proper that you confirm with this functionality here. You can see this functionality called the assistant. So this one is what you need to confirm with before you order anything. You can just come here and say, okay, I need to order bread, but I need to check how many bread do we have? How much stock of bread do we have here? Okay, so it will show you the stock of bread that you have in a unit. Like now you can see in the distribution we have this number of stock. So which means it shows last received was today. And so it shows you here that it is overstocked. Okay, and then you can confirm if there be any other pending LPOs that were raised for this item here. You can see now there are these other pending LPOs that were raised for the same item, but already the item is overstocked. So what you can do, you can simply just delete this. You can simply just disapprove these LPOs. And what you do here with the stock, you only do what we call a stock transfer because you already have enough and it is overstocked. So why would you order the rest? And then at the same time, also you can go to other branches. Like let me check the supermarket here. You can see the item is still overstocked. Okay, and then you can see at the branch level here, it has never even reached at the branch. You can see here it shows never. It has never reached at the branch, so the branch doesn't have the stock. So what does it mean? It means this stock that is lying fallow in the stores at the warehouse, they need to be transferred to the branch so that the customers can have them. And then from here, you can also check the pending LPOs. Like you can see now here for this case, this guy had other pending LPOs here. So what do you do? Okay, so you can either choose to cancel the LPOs and transfer the stock, or either you can also read the seasons. As human, you have an intuition. You can be able to sense, or maybe it is back to school, or maybe it is Christmas. People's purchasing power is too high, so we need to have enough stock. You can simply just also, decide like that. Okay, so these are some of the things that you need to put in consideration, my friend, when you are actually doing that. Okay, so I think I've answered one of your questions here of how you need to raise LPOs from the accounting side, that is in your distribution area. Okay. So with the assets, yes, I said in assets also we have a module that manages assets, and you simply just go to the assets here. Then it will show you the asset manager. Then you will get something like that. This is the asset manager. You can either select which asset you want to manage. Okay, you can see from property, motor vehicles, kuna heavy commercials, plant machinery, computer and accessories, office equipments, and then we have furniture and fixtures. Yeah. So these are the assets that you'll have, and then you can also be able to select like which unit or which branch are you trying to create this asset for. Okay. So this is where you'll have to actually be able to to monitor that. And then, of course, once you've created an asset, you will have something like this. Let me just select this that was created long time. So this is how the asset will look like. Let me just select another one so that we can have a good vivid picture here. So this is how the asset will look like. This is now for the case of motor vehicle. Let me just edit this, okay? So you can see now this one, the class is for the model. You can also indicate the vehicle model number. And then there's the manufacturer serial number. And then the vehicle. Now the description of the vehicle, it has to be the name of the vehicle and the number plate of the vehicle. That is a good also to be, so that you can easily be able to track and the system can be able to give you reports vacant. So you can clarify it, because you can see here now, this one is not a property, it is a motor vehicle. So you select a motor vehicle, date purchased, you can indicate the date purchased here. And then of course you can put if it is the VAT code, and then the original purchase, it is indicated there. So this asset, you create it and then they have to be actually ledgered. So you ensure that the assets are well ledgered. And then of course you can also be able to define it here in details. And this is where you can be able to define that in details here. Okay, you can define that vehicle. If it is a saloon car, you can define the value of that vehicle, the saloon. So you can even indicate that so that the system can be able to pick that here. So that is how you capture the asset. And then of course you will need to have an image, because the system supports image. Without the image, you'll not be able to save it. But there is always a fake image that we create for you to be able to do things fast. In cases of images, you can do it later, maybe in the future date, but the main data has to be in the system. So this is how you capture the assets, and that is how you do it here. So once you've captured the asset, or once you've actually done that, so what you do is that you have to ledger. This one, first of all, it has to be ledgered here. So like if and this is where you do the ledgering of that asset here. You just come to nominals here, you select the account, and then you say new. So once you say new, this is how you indicate those vehicles here. You select, okay, main category, you can say it is a fixed asset, and then it will give you these properties. Then you say it is motor vehicles. Then from there you indicate the title. The title should be the name of the asset, and then for which branch, you select which branch that asset does belong. And then from there you can also select the depreciation category. So the depreciation category, as per the laws, it is always normally 25%. So you indicate the 25%, and then you can input this tick for the system to start imposing depreciation. So the value, the limit value at which you want the depreciation to be, you can indicate the value. If it is maybe up to whatever value that the company may seem fit, they can indicate there that value there. So you have to set that depreciation category there, and that is how you do what we call the ledgering of the vehicle. So once it is here, then finally for the system to be able to receive this, then you will have to come to GRNs, and then you do the ledgering of that asset. So when you do the ledgering of the assets, what you do is that you come and receive this asset here from the GRN. You receive it as item, as asset quantity. That is how you do now the posting of that asset. And then you come, you say okay, then you indicate the supplier's name. And then once you've indicated the supplier's name, then you can come here and indicate the assets namely. Let me just indicate here my assets name. So the spelling of Mazda. Spelling of Mazda, okay. So you indicate the assets name here. So once you indicated the assets name, then that is where now it will be done there. So from there, that one will be now, after you've received, the system will know that this asset has already been received in the system. From there, it will start now counting the depreciation rate. Okay. So that is how you put assets in the system. Okay, that is how you put assets in the system. Then with the banking, as you had actually asked, with the banking, this is where you create all the banks. Okay, you simply just say new. So once you say new, then you can indicate, the system will give you the automatic banking code. Then you put the name of the bank here, and then also you put the name of the bank. So pay name, payment name, and title, these are just definitely the same names of which bank. And then you can also choose the branch at which that bank is supposed to be. And then of course then from there you will have these banks here. That is how you'll have banks. Then you select this bank and then you put a tick here for you to indicate that there are active banks in the system. And then from there you will start now doing the setting. Okay, for the accounts, you can indicate the accounts here. And then of course here this is current. Okay, and then you can put the addresses and all that, and then you put the tick there. Then from there you can set this printer here, and then all the checks relative to that bank that are being used in that branch, you can indicate them, all the checkbooks here. So the checkbooks, the system will pick them in terms of location. So you can have checkbook 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one in the system is like location 1, 2, 3, 4. And then each checkbook will have to have the pages at which they've begun. Okay? So if it is from page 1 to what is the end page of that checkbook, that is page 100. Okay, so you can indicate that there, so that when you be doing payments, the system will be printing those checks, and then it will also be indicating the check numbers that have been used currently. So you are able to compare the physical checkbooks and what the system says. So it also monitors that. So at the end of it all, if you pay a supplier, okay, if you are doing supplier payments, yeah, you will have checks that will look like this. Okay, you'll have checks that will look like this one was done today. So you'll have a check that will look like this. So you can see it is indicating all the check numbers here, the check number, and then bank GL code of that bank, and then this is the check number. Okay, so if you go with this code, that is now the bank that you're dealing with. Okay, 18001, this is now the GL code of the bank. Like you can see here, these are GL code of the banks. So it picks that bank with that. So these are the different areas on how you can actually put the checkbooks. That is how you can track your checkbooks in the system. Okay, so that is how you can track your checkbooks in the system. And then of course you are asking about reconciliation. I don't know if we are okay. This is the bank statements. Okay, these are bank statements. You can either backdate. I can see there are some statements here. There are some things that were not reconciled, like now these ones. They've not done any reconciliation for this. So these are the bank statements here. Then you can also be able to print these bank statements. Okay, so this is how those statements will look. This is now DTB, bank statement for DTB. That is relative to this branch. So these are the transactions that were indicated, which some of them are not yet reconciled. Yeah. So once you do reconciliation, those checkbox here will be checked. Okay, will be checked, all of them. Okay, so under reconciliation, this is where you will do your reconciliations. Okay, this is where you do reconciliation. You select a bank. Okay, select a bank. Let me just select like Equity. Okay, and then of course you can also show other reconciled. They don't have any reconciled, so you can check that. And then when you're doing reconciliation, of course you'll have what we call the statement from the bank here. Let me assume the statement also read the same. Okay, so it's also read the same. So, and then what you do, you just verify these transactions. Okay, once you verify the transactions, then this amount it's supposed to balance with this one here. It's supposed to balance with that. And then from there you are able now to say, you are able to save. Okay. So once you've saved that, then that transaction, that reconciliation has been done for this bank. Okay. So that is how we do just reconciliation in a nutshell. But now for my figures may not actually be accurate because it's a demo version. Eh? But now for your figures will be accurate, and the system will be able to show you exactly the accuracy. If you find there is any blunder, you can filter back to your GRNs and find out where the blunder was. Okay. And then finally, you have all these reports. We have the end of day reports. These are end of day managers. And then also we have the transaction documents. These are view checks, bank transfer, bank charges, okay, Then you have all these. Now this is just relative to the banks, okay? Checks that were killed, okay? Checks listing, banking, and all that stuff. So this is relative, the reports relative to actually banking. So these are the reports that you will have, of course, yeah? And then, of course, if you go to the main reports of financial, you will have all your depreciation, wear and tear, liquidity. You will have your trial balance, which will look like something like that. So you'll have your trial balance that will look something like that, okay? So this is how it is. You can also be able to print it. And then, of course, you will have what we call your P&L. So there's an annual P&L. So this one here. So this is where your annual P&L will look like. So this one it cannot print since I've not closed the year. Okay, so let me just cancel it. Okay, so this is how your P&L will look like that. But if we go out to here, we just find in the financial reports, they are here. So you can see the trial balance. There's format A, format B, based on what other clients will require. So this is the trial balance. Okay, this is what we've seen. And then this is also the profit and loss. Okay, so this is the P&L. Okay, this is how the P&L will look like. Okay, so the transactions are not too many, so let me just try and backdate this to see how it will look like. Okay, so this one it is okay because it's yearly. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Yeah, so this is how your P&L will look like, okay? The detailed trading profit and loss schedule, yeah? Sales, cost of sales, operating profit, administrative expenses, all these things, they are going to be there. And then, of course, you will have what we call computation accessibly. Accessibly, this is also another report that most accountants today will want, computation of accessible income. So this is how it will look like. Okay, for the accountants there, I think you are seeing what I'm talking about. I think you are getting what I'm saying. Yeah? And then we have also the balance sheets. There is a balance sheet format A. Okay, balance sheet format A. This is how it will look like. Okay, so you can see there's a fixed assets. There's current assets. Okay, those are the total, and then we have current liabilities. So that is where it is. That is how it will look like. Okay. So that is just a small overview of what the accounting will actually be relative to your questions. I think, Mister, are we together? Oh yeah, yes, exactly. So that is just a snippet of how the accounting is. That's how the snippets of how the accounting. Now, this is where you can actually be able to update everything right from one central location, of course, yeah? So let's say this is the product here. You want to update its cost, selling price, and also the product. It's a new product, you want to update it to the branch. Okay, just right here, you are able to do that. You can click these branch prices here, and then you select the branch. And then, of course, this item, you double click it there, and then it will take you to the HQ here. And then from here, you select which branch you want to update. If they are all, you are able to select all. Then you can also define the unit at which the branch is selling. Then you can indicate your selling prices there. And then, of course, here you can update the cost and then also update all branches if there be. And then you save it like that. Okay? So once you save, you will show there, it will show you the status of the link of each and every branch. And then, of course, for you to prove, you can view at branch here. And once you view at the branch, you can see your data in branch servers. So it means now this product is fully updated in the branch. Both the cost and the selling price, they are fully updated in the branch. So if you go to a POS, or even if you go to the back office of that branch, this product will be there with the cost being updated and all that. Okay? So that is how you do. Now, once we've done that, even the managers, because your managers will always be told to be checking the price changes, yeah? They just come to the back office here, So this is the back office. Okay, and let me see. So this is the back office here. They can also be able to, they can just simply come and check. Okay, they can check these reports here. You can see now the price changes. There's a price changes report here. There's a selling price changes. They can also be able to check that. You just simply click here. You see how many changes have come. Like right now, we don't have any changes on the selling price, but this is the report they will be always be checking. There is selling price 1, selling price 2, and all that stuff. So if there be any changes, they'll be able to check that. And then what they will do, only just alert their team to be able to print new stickers before the POS picks the update of a new selling price. Okay, so they can also be able to check the cost price. Here, this is the report of the cost price. For my case, I don't have any changes. And then cost and selling, they can also be able to check that, the cost and selling prices. So this one also, they are able to check that. And for my case, I don't have any. So the report is very clean. Okay, don't have no hassles. The report is very clean. Okay, my friend. So what do you have to say up to there? Okay. Aya, sawa sawa. Thank you very much. So what are we doing? So yeah. Okay, sawa sawa. Oh, labels. Labels, you can do them differently. Yeah, you can either do them here from HQ. These are now for the warehouse. Okay, but for the branches, definitely you'll have your branches there. Then you can do product labels from here. That is, it's done directly from the back office. So you do it right here. Okay, you can print your own labels here. Okay, and you get some very nice labels here. For example, let me just see. Okay, you can get very nice labels here. Like for example, let me say this label. Let me just print for you labels here. You see some of them. Okay. So this is just a product label. This is where you can actually print a product label. But if you need shelf labels, you can just indicate it there, and then you just say, let me say this is the bread label. This is the label. Okay, you can either select small if you need, but most shelves are regular, or some other areas like furniture will need large ones or extra large ones. So you add them there, and then you can also select another one. Let me say this product here. Okay, so this is this product, then I can also add it there, and then you are able to print this. So you can see the labels will look like this, and it normally prints on an A4 paper, so that from there somebody can be able to use the scissors and cut it so nicely, and then you go and put it in the shelf. You remember most of your shelves have plastic elements in it. So at times I see some of your guys will use the product labels. Those are stickers, and then they will want to stick it on the shelf. That one is not. Those ones are not supposed to be used for product label, for shelf labels. Okay, shelf labels are simply just papers that you can just put them inside the shelf, and they appear so nice and clean, and they have the product barcode and the product code, and then of course their prices there you can indicate there, so that when it is dirty, you can simply just remove it and replace it with another paper. Other than just using stickers every now and then, you remove stickers, it makes your shelves look dirty. Okay, so that is how your product labels will look like. Okay, so if you need them to be large, you can simply just select, let's assume it's furniture or refrigerators. Okay, they can just appear like that. Okay, so they can appear like that. These are shelf labels for your furnitures, and if you need them also extra large, okay, you can just select extra large and just print it there. and this is how it will appear as extra large labels, okay? And mostly these ones, you'll find them, they put them on refrigerators or furnitures or wherever. So they will need shelves that are big enough so that if a customer is on a distance, they are able to see what exactly is happening. So that is how the labels will look like. These are furniture labels, yeah? So that is how they will look like, okay? Sawa. Otherwise, thank you very much. I hope to see you again. And I'm looking forward even to engage with you more further.